I would still like to know how the Swamp Witch learns its forms.
Eager, are you not? Does the golem wish to become human after all?
A human is a soft and weak form. I desire no such thing.
Then why the interest in shape-changing? Unless you secretly wish to become something other than what you are.
Is that why the Swamp Witch learned? To escape her form?
In a way. It was lonely to grow up in the wilds. To join with the forest, to become one with its denizens. There was a freedom in that.
I think it would be an excellent talent for disguises.
Or perhaps to walk through doors without hitting one's head.
Yes, exactly.
Well, 'tis not a good enough reason.
Atrosvala, champion. I hear your performance in the proving was nothing short of amazing. I must thank you for bringing both Baisel and Guidon back into the fight. His lordship was touched to see his old friends stand for him. There can no longer be any doubt where your sympathies lie. If you're ready, Lord Harrowmont will see you now. His lordship is looking forward to meeting you.
Why does the Swamp Witch still travel with the Grey Wardens?
You are of the opinion that I should not be?
I am curious. It seems as if it has little reason to stay.
The same could be said of you. There is no control rod commanding your presence, Gollum.
I have no history and thus no purpose. The same cannot be said for the Swamp Witch. Its purpose is simply unknown.
Keep asking questions and I shall turn into a bird. I can do that.
I have no fear of birds.
Oh, I didn't say you were afraid. I would simply hover out of reach. Hovering. Waiting until...
Enough! I shall be silent.
Excellent choice.
Welcome to Lord Harrowmont's estate.
I appreciate what you have done, Warden, and I apologize for putting one of your rank through such trials. I am Lord Pyrell Harrowmont, and I thank you for your efforts to help me preserve King Indrin's throne. For us, the Darkspawn are a constant menace, so a blight may not elicit the same urgency you are used to. Ultimately, the Assembly decides what troops to send. If they no longer fear civil war, they'll have no reason to hold back. If you want my support to count, I will have to be king. And right now, there is no sure way to get there. Have you heard of a woman named Jarvia and the criminal carter she runs? The Assembly receives pleas every day from the common folk, begging that something be done about her. So far, no one has managed. Jarvia hides her base in Dust Town, the raw edges of the city where no one lives but castless and criminals. If you would help me in this, it would show the Assembly that I, and not Balin, have the ability to defend and rule this city. Do this, and I promise if I take the throne, I will not stop until the Assembly sends your troops. Look for Jarvia in Dust Town. Do whatever it takes to see that justice is served.
What is a good enough reason?
For which?
It said that my reason for learning more of shape-changing was not good enough. What reason would be?
I do not know. Tell me what it is and I shall decide.
It could simply decide any reason was insufficient then.
You find that maddening, do you?
It has a bird-like nature to its sadism, I'll give it that.
Good. Let us leave it that way.
You found it. Warden, you have my gratitude. You're a bright spot in an otherwise dark time.
Let me ask you this then, Morrigan. What if there really was a maker?
Then I would wonder why he has abandoned his creation. It seems terribly irresponsible of him.
He left us because we were determined to make our own way, even if we hurt ourselves. And he could not bear to watch.
But how do you know? You cannot ask him this. Perhaps he has gone to a new creation elsewhere and abandoned this as a dismal failure best forgotten.
I do not need to know, because I have faith. I believe in him and feel his hope and his love.
Faith. How quickly those who have no answers invoke that word.
How can someone who practices magic have so little capacity to believe in that which he cannot see?
Magic is real. I can touch it and command it, and I need no faith for it to fill me up inside. If you were looking for your higher power, there it is.
But only if you can control it. I do not envy the loneliness you must feel at times, Morrigan.
Leave me be. Loneliness would be preferred to this endless chatter.
Harrowmont has suckered the warrior.
It seems I must retract a statement I made earlier. The Elder Mage is not at all like my former master.
Oh? That's a good thing, is it?
It is, unless you happen to like having your head crushed. Not that I remember doing that.
You know, I think I even remember who you speak of. His name was Wilhelm, yes? From the Free Marches?
It was Wilhelm of shrill voice and the control rod that he enjoyed wielding very much. Any more than that, he did not divulge.
Well, if it was the same man, he had quite the reputation. A scholar of some means who disappeared mysteriously.
Mystery solved. I killed him. I expect I smiled, much as I'm able to.
You do speak your mind, don't you?
Fortunately, no other part of me has anything to say.
You're back. You got more business for me? Well, our business is kind of covert, if you know what I mean. It's illegal in Orzammar for me to engage in protected trade, but they look the other way if I share things with my friends. For money. Enough to know she don't fancy strangers asking questions. Best way to find it is stand on any street corner in Orzammar and insult Jarvia's mother. You'll wind up there quick enough, and have a real long time to get to know the place. Her base goes everywhere in Orzammar. You cross her or even talk bad, your bones end up in the lava. Could be, if 30 silver came my way, I might know a bit. Only Jarvia's men know all the entrances to her base. But I tell you, I've watched them. They go up to what look like bare walls, and poof! Gone! Like there's a secret door. There's one just across the way. Watch long enough, and you'll see. Now you want to buy something, or are we done? That's what I thought.
Didn't get enough of the architectural beauty of Dust Town? You need old Nadezhda to play tour guide? Know her. I used to run with her. Jarvia took over the Carta not more than a year ago, and already she's got every duster with both legs bearing swords for her. Won't be easy. She's gotten real careful since Barat died. Real paranoid. She's got Carta members all carrying these fingerbone tokens. She scratches some mark into them, so she'll know they came from her. There's doors to her base all over the city, but only one is ever open at a time. And if you show up without a token, you'd never know it was there. Can't help you there, Selrocka. The Carta members keep them real tight. But that's worth something, right? Maybe just a little... I'll think of you when I go to bed with a full stomach.
Do you miss the cloister much? I heard you were quite happy there.
Yes, I was generally. It was peaceful and it gave me a new start. No one knew who I was, but sometimes I am glad I am away and back on the road. There were bothersome things about the place. Well, bothersome people. Some of the brothers and sisters would talk to you like the chant they spoke was more pleasing to the Maker. Oh, I hated the way they talked down at me. So sometimes I forget the words to the chant, or say them wrong. But so what? The Maker looks into your heart, no? So it doesn't matter what your lips say, as long as your heart is true.
I think you're missing the point, my dear. The chantry believes the chant of light should be spread around the world. You cannot spread it if those that are speaking the chant are speaking it incorrectly.
But I came to the Maker before I had even heard all of the chants. The Maker speaks to people. They just don't know how to listen. It is all a power game, I think. If they convince others they know more, then they must be respected.
Child, it is precisely this kind of talk that made them wary of you. Opinions that differ from your own are always threatening.
Spare a coin? 2 bits for the needy? Keep asking questions like that, and you'll get dragged in soon enough.
Hey there, stranger. 6 bits for a tumble. 2 silvers if you all want to go at once. It's everywhere. That's the problem. There's nowhere she can't see you. It shall be.
Well, look what we have here.
Jarvia said you were looking for trouble. Congratulations. You found it.
Enemy!
Don't kill me! Sorry ancestors! What do they teach you on the surface? You fight like a bleeding archdemon. Sweet bloody stone, look at them all!
The base is below the city. You can get to it through the wall of the 3rd house on this row. Put this token through the slot, and it'll open. Will you let me go now?
Really? Oh, thank you. You're a good person. How do they say it? The ancestors have shown their favor. Bless you.
I heard about what happened and I don't really know what to say. But I feel like I need to say something. Sorry, perhaps.
I do not need sympathy, so do not feel obliged to give me comfort. We all die, Leliana, and we all know it. How is this different?
Because it's sooner?
Is it really? I may die next year, or I may die tomorrow, shot through the heart by a bandit's arrow. I do not know for sure. The constant fear of death is enough to take the joy out of anything, especially life. Do not worry for me or for yourself. Death will take us when it wills. Until then, we shall live, truly live.
What's the password? Looks like we have a martyr, boys.
Shale, why do you refer to me as the Elder Mage?
Clearly because it is purple, and a hyena.
Then you simply wish to be perverse? Surely you're better than that.
I have found that I'm allowed precious few amusements. Since so many prefer to call me Gollum, I enjoy referring to them in a similar fashion.
Oh, very well. But could you at least use a different adjective? I do not wish my age to be my defining characteristic.
As the fussy mage desires.
Oh, I give up.
Trap right ahead. Mm-hmm. As you say.
Please, stranger. Let me out. I see you bear no love for Jarvia. Please, help me.
Right away.
Thank you. We've been down here. It's been so long. My friend didn't make it. Just stopped eating one day, and all for a stupid bet.
Have you given any thought to your future, Shale?
I was thinking I might, join the Chantry, become divine, and have giant Andraste Gollum's fashion to conquer the lands.
Truly?
No.
It was a serious question. One day the quest of these Grey Wardens will be finished one way or another. What will you do then?
The quest of the Grey Wardens is to destroy the Darkspawn, I thought.
Oh? So you share a larger purpose with them? Is that your ultimate goal?
I had not given it much thought. It might be better than slaughtering every bird in existence.
Well, yes. At the very least. It's worth thinking about.
So, Paramount finally realized we're taking the city, yet he still can't be bothered to send his own men. Well, you picked the wrong side, stranger. It doesn't matter who's king, as long as there's a queen. Hardly convincing when your blades are covered in my men's blood. Kill them! But leave the pretty one alive. I have plans for her. Why does that always happen to me? It must be a wonderful thing to be able to weave spells.
Wonderful? To you, perhaps. Most do not feel the same way.
Oh, what do they know? They're just jealous. The Maker gives you magic. You must use it. You do it so effortlessly. It's like breathing for you. I wish I had such talent.
But you do. You have your music, your dances. You are more graceful than anyone I've ever met. I think that perhaps the Maker gives us all magic, but of different sorts.
I never thought of it that way. I suppose we all have our little gifts. Back in Orlais, I knew a noble lady who was like most of the other noble ladies, fair of face and slow of wit. Anyway, Katerina had the most uncanny ability to tie knots in the stems of cherries using only her tongue. It was very impressive. The men especially loved watching her.
Yes, that's exactly the sort of Maker-given magic I was talking about.
Ah! By all the beards of my ancestors! How did you... Where did you come from? You made a hole in my wall! It does? Oh, sod it. If people find out about this, my business will be ruined. They'll think I have something to do with Jarvia. Dead? How? Did you... You did, didn't you? You killed her. And then you climbed out of there into my shop. Oh, just leave me alone. I don't want anything to do with this. And if anyone comes asking, I'm gonna tell them you did it.
Has the Elder Mage ever encountered another golem?
I suppose there used to be one deactivated one stored in the tower's vault. I wonder what became of it. After all that's happened to the Circle, I'd be surprised if it isn't completely destroyed.
Why was it deactivated? Did it crush some arrogant mage's head after one too many commands?
I do not know, Shale. Perhaps it is just irreparably broken. I think it stayed in the tower because no one could move it. It is very, very old. I believe it came from Tevinter a long time ago. Perhaps someone bought it so it would guard the tower.
Its people do enjoy their slaves, don't they?
It was not a slave. It is a
tool. As I thought. No, don't deny it. No.
I heard the news. Jarvia and Akata are dead. I suppose it was unrealistic to expect them to surrender. Would that some of the noble caste had such loyalty. I have no desire to go back on my word. But when Balin heard the news about Jarvia, he raised the stakes. He is forcing a vote in the next 2 days. By law, that prevents the Assembly from hearing any other pleas. To help with your troops, I will require your assistance one last time. Do you know anything of the Paragon Branca? Yes, a smokeless fuel that made underground forges safer than they've ever been. 2 years ago, she took her entire house into the deep roads on a mad quest to uncover ancient secrets. No one's heard from her since. Were she to return and endorse someone for the throne, the Assembly would be honor-bound to accept her wishes. Her entire house went with her. It would take a lot to kill so many. If not, bringing proof of her death, or a body to return to the stone, would still show that as an ancestor, it was my hand she guided to her remains. It's hard to say what she would do. She wasn't exactly known for her predictability. She never seemed to like being a paragon. She was devoted to her craft, never cared for politics. But one of the most brilliant minds Orzammar has seen. Branka hated Darkspawn with a passion. She would certainly be a valuable voice to support your treaty. My men traced Branka's disappearance to an ancient crossroads known as Caridin's Cross. It is many miles below where we normally venture, but I can provide a map to lead you there. Just enter the deep roads through the mines. Thank you again, and may the ancestors guide your steps.
Why are you smiling like that? You look suspiciously like the cat that swallowed the pigeon.
Canary.
What?
I look like the cat that swallowed the canary.
I once had a very large cat, but not my point. My point is, why are you smirking?
You were watching her, with great interest, I might add. In fact, I believe you were enraptured.
She's our leader. I look to her for guidance.
Oh, I see. So what guidance did you find in those swaying hips, hmm?
No. I wasn't looking at, you know, her hindquarters.
Certainly.
I glanced in that direction, maybe, but I wasn't staring. Or really seeing anything, even.
Of course.
I hate you. You're a bad person. So, tell me, you have any children, grandchildren, I don't know, great-grandchildren?
What would make you think I have any children at all? You have to know I've spent most of my life in the circle of magi.
You just seem like the grandmotherly type to me, I don't know.
I suppose I'll take that as a comment on my demeanor and not my age.
Mages aren't forbidden to marry or anything, are they? It's not such an outlandish question.
Isn't it? What sort of man would marry a mage, do you think?
Well, how about another mage? There are just as many men as there are women within the circle, as I recall.
That sort of union is not encouraged. Although that does not stop us from seeking out each other's company from time to time.
All right. Suddenly you don't seem quite so grandmotherly to me anymore.
Good. I would hope not.
So, you were serious before when you said you wanted to help Branka, huh? I'm Ogren. I don't know if you remember. People seem to forget me these days. Or ignore. I forget which. I'm still her husband. More than that, I'm the only one who cares about her as a person. Not some symbol to leave in the deep roads where she can't offend anyone. I know what Branka wanted, and how she was looking. You, I assume, know whatever Harrowmont's men have dug up on where exactly she disappeared. If we pool our knowledge, we stand a chance of finding Branka. Otherwise, good sodding luck. You should know that Branka was looking for the Anvil of the Void, the secret to building golems, which was lost centuries ago. The smith Caridin built it, and with it, Orzammar had 100 years of peace, while it was protected by the golems forged on the anvil. As far as anyone knows, the anvil was built in the old Orton Tig. Branka planned to start looking there, if she could ever find it. All she knew was that it was past Caridin's Cross. No one's seen that Tig for 500 years. If we're going, let's get moving. Bronca's not gonna sodding find herself.
Be careful out there.
Carrigan's Cross. I can't believe Harrowmont actually tracked this place down. This used to be one of the biggest crossroads in the old Empire. You could get anywhere from here, including Orton Tig. It's the home of Caridin, the paragon who made the anvil. He was an Orton before he founded his own house, and even then, he spent most of his time in their Tig. Bronca figured it was the best guess for where the anvil was located. Not a one, but trust me, we will once we're on the path to the old Orton Tig. She was going to Caridin's home. Aye. Bronca dug up some maps of the ancient empire. It's a little tough to tell with so much of it collapsed now, but near as I can figure, we're on the right path to Orton Tig. No one but Caridin ever really knew more than it had some kind of stone-blessed power. Every golem who ever ranged across the Empire was hammered on the steel of that anvil, but no one ever knew exactly how they were made. But Bronca was sure she could find out. Only Bronca's hero, the most famed paragon ever to rise from Smith Cast. He built the anvil, and he's the only one who ever knew its secret. I've been waiting for someone to say that for 2 sodding years.
Well, look what we have here. A couple of Harrowmont's little lackeys. Let's show them who's king.
Time to get messy.
Take that.
They tell you what to wear in the chantry.
You have robes and such that you must wear.
And, so... robes? What else?
Well, sometimes there are vestments and ceremonial garments.
Right. And then...
Why are you so interested in this?
Ah, sod it. Under the robes. Pants. No pants.
What?
Stop stalling. Naked or not.
What difference does it make?
All right. Stonewall me. I'll find out one way or the other.
Right. Good luck with that.
There was a man in the village who reminded me of the drunken dwarf.
They had some dwarfs just like me, huh?
No, none of the dwarves were similar. They were quiet and respected, more or less. No, the one I remember was a human. He vomited in the street constantly. Then he wandered into a snowstorm and froze to death.
Huh? And how was that like me?
Did I say similar? I meant I hoped he was similar.
I think I had a wife like you once. So, do golems know any good jokes?
I know at least one. It is a drunken dwarf that travels with the Grey Warden, constantly belching and...
Ah, I mean a real one. You must have overheard at least one or two standing there as you did for years and years.
There was a human man who once started telling a joke to another as he relieved himself on my leg. I confess I didn't listen. I was too busy planning my revenge.
Eh? And what happened to him?
He disappeared during the fighting in Honleith. Tragic. Hit his head on a rock, I think.
Remind me not to fart anywhere near you. By the tits of my ancestors, Wotan Tig. I never thought I'd see this place in the flesh. I can see Branka all over this place. She always took chips from the walls at regular intervals when she was in a new tunnel. Checked their composition. If she was still here, though, she'd have sentries out by now. Well, aren't you a sodding bright spot today? If everyone's dead, there'd be evidence of a major battle, wouldn't there? 300 or so dwarves don't just fade away. I don't know. This was always her goal. She figured if the anvil wasn't here, there would at least be some clue to point her to where it is. This was Caridin's home Tig. He was an Orton before he got raised to Paragon. Even stayed here when he could have had his own house. I guess he didn't want to move his people to Bunamar. The City of the Dead. Caridin built it to honor the Legion of the Dead, but it was more like a sodding mausoleum than anything. Of course, that was all before he built the anvil. After that, he was the city's pet genius, until he angered the king and fell into disfavor. No, there was a Tig here. The Orton Tig. Bunamar is north and west of here. But that's not important. Or at least I hope it isn't. The City of the Dead is known as the Dead Trenches since the Darkspawn conquered it. Much of the Legion was destroyed when the fortress fell. No one does. At the time, Orton Tig was almost part of the main city. No one bothered to mark where the anvil was stored. Now it's impossible to know if it's been moved or even destroyed. But trust me, if we find it, we find Branka. Couldn't have said it better myself.
Drunken dwarf fights reasonably well.
You don't have to make it sound like you're passing a stone to admit it.
It is not physically weak, or entirely inept in combat.
You looking to borrow money or something?
I'm saying that there are worse things than being forced to fight at its side.
Good to know. Should I drop my trousers now, or are you done?
Done. Very done.
I shall do it.
So, with the boss,
Pardon?
You and the boss, rolling your oats.
I don't know...
Polishing the footstones.
What you're...
Tapping the midnight still, if you will.
What are you going on about?
Forging the moaning statue, bucking the forbidden horse, donning the velvet hat.
Are you just making these up right now?
Nope. Been saving them.
hear that? There's people in the Chardri. The whole town, maybe.
They are remarkably in tune.
There's nothing for you here. It's mine. I've claimed it. You've come to take my claim. You surfaces are all alike. Thieving scoundrels. Well, I found it first.
Bah, he's a bloody scavenger. Good as sod and gone.
Be gone, you! You'll bring the Dark Ones back, you will. They'll crunch your bones.
Word has it you could only survive down here by eating the Darkspawn dead.
It burns when it goes down. It burns! It's my claim, not yours! Crunch your bones!
Dwarf.
What?
Stop tripping me.
Stop tripping yourself.
If you were significant enough to notice, I wouldn't step on you.
Oh, well... your mother.
That was disappointing. I expected better from you.
Yeah, sorry, I was in a rush.
Go away! This is mine! Only I gets to plunder its riches! It's mine! I'm the one who found it! I drove out the crawlers! Now it's mine! Everything was here. Everything the crawlers did not already take. Rocks, and tents, and worms. It's all mine! Pretty lady, pretty eyes, pretty hair. Smells like the steam of burning water. Blue as the deepest rock. So, the pretty lady won't take anything from Rock? You won't take Rock's shiny worms and pretty rocks? Oh, Rock not mind that, maybe. Rock not pretty name. Not pretty like lady. Rock is small and ugly and twisted. No. No filter. No mother. No warm blanket and stew and pillow and soft words. Rock doesn't deserve good memories. No. She did not know. Not what I did. I was very angry, and then someone was dead, and they wanted to send Rock to the mines. If I went to the mines, she would know. Everyone would know. So I came here instead. Once you eat, once you takes in the darkness, you not miss the light so much. You know, do you not? Rock sees. Yes, he sees the darkness inside you. Gray like the stone, guardian against the darkness. Beautiful like waterfalls under the lichen. No, she cannot. She remembers a boy, a little boy with bright eyes and a hammer, and she cannot see this. Swear, promise, vow you won't tell. Yes. Tell the mother Rock is dead.
He's dead, and his bones are rotting in the crawler's webs, and she should never look again. Pretty lady is like mother, yes? Too good, too pretty for the darkness.
You know what would do you some good?
A pair of nose plugs?
Go out, find a girl. Doesn't matter who, as long as there's no pants involved.
What makes you think I haven't?
I can smell purity a mile away. It's a talent.
That proves to be useful, I'm sure.
Not that often, it turns out. Be much better if I could smell cheese.
You have my deepest condolences.
Yep, so do you. Around here.
You think so? Do you?
Know what I do to relieve tension?
I hesitate to wonder.
I polish the old weapon.
Really?
Yep. Give it a good shine with a dry rag, then with a little grease.
That's disgusting.
You're telling me you never gave your blade the old spit shine?
I think that's private.
Really? Sodding chantry and its rules. I like to do it right out in the open.
Where people can see you?
Yep.
Wait, what are you talking about?
What are you talking about?
Never mind.
Come on. Who ate the cabbage?
Why ask me?
I guess you thought we could all share in the bounty. Oh, stand up to it, you giant ass. You birthed a cloud to be proud of. Oh, I hope you've thought of a name. Whew. Bronca was thinking about me. I knew she still cared. Old softy. Looks like the Dead Trenches is our next stop then. They say the Darkspawn nest there. Whole herds of them. But if that's where Bronca went, then that's where I'm going.